Well, hey, parents, we are here today to just discuss some of the more sensitive topics that kids are wrestling around in their brains right now. Vance Yarborough and I recently had the opportunity to teach a doctrines class to 5th and 6th graders, and what we noticed was that kids were having trouble focusing on the topics and themes presented in the morning for the class. What we also noticed was that they were kind of wrestling through some of these current events and voicing some of their concerns and asking a lot of questions. And so we had a minimal amount of time to address these sensitive topics. And so we felt that it was important to just kind of sit down and start the conversation here with you guys. And so my name is Kelsey Henderson. I'm the children's pastor here at Monte Vista. And joining me, I have, go ahead.
Aimee Rasmussen. And I counsel and work with recovery, and main passion in life has always been children, and then recovery, and then counseling. No, all of that together. But I'm just glad to get to join you in the conversation.
And I'm Ashley Muchler, and I am the early childhood director here at Monte Vista Chapel. So I focus more on 2-year-olds through kindergartners.
And so we're just going to get started in the conversation. And as Aimee's able to speak to some of these topics, Ashley and I will jump in and just kind of give our own experience and feedback. So with so much change transpiring within children and families and their schedules, what steps can parents take to establish new rhythms and healthy ways?
Yeah. I think the number one thing is to establish the rhythm that works for your family. So don't compare rhythms of other families. Know about yourself. Are you one who tends to be flexible, or are you one who tends to like a set of rules? Because if you try to become something that you're not, you're going to be frustrated, and so will your children. Now, the bottom line is, some of us, I would say I'm a pretty flexible parent, but I had a rigid child, and I needed to learn to have some structure in my day, because by not having structure, I made her really uncomfortable. Now, some of you have a child who is completely flexible and doesn't like the rules, and that drives you crazy. And so then you're like, I actually need to have some rules and some expectations of the day to follow. So part of this is really finding out what works well for your family and stick with it. Now, you guys are in major transition right now. You just went from school to now you're at home. And you're at home, but you're not doing schoolwork, and that means you probably have bored children. And most of the time, kids like expectations. When they get up in the day, they know what the day entails. So as much as you can, find the new rhythm for summer, stick to it pretty closely, and if you're making big changes, most kids like some ahead, they need to know a change is coming. If they think they're swimming that day and then it doesn't happen because it's raining, don't make the assumption that they know it's because it's raining that they can't swim. They need help with making the adjustments.
Sounds like clarification is a big part of that, and just setting clear expectations.
Yeah, clear expectations. Any thoughts about that for you?
Well, I have 4 children at home, so as you can imagine, we have all the emotions, and some that are very rigid and some that are extremely flexible. Yeah. So, we can't cater to all of our kids at once. And so we've had to just find what rhythm works for our family.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So. You know the child that likes the star chart and the one that will tear the star chart. Like, you just have to kind of ride with that and realize that God is a God of order. He creates a structure in which we know what to anticipate his character and his ways, and I think our kids are looking to us very similar. They want to know, is our character generally similar, and is our structure of order similar? And when they wake up each day wondering what's happening, for some kids that causes a great deal of anxiety. Mm-hmm. So, good question.
So in this process, many of us have become working from home parents. Mm-hmm. We're trying to juggle the kids being home and doing their schoolwork, us having to do our work at home. How would you advise parents on merging personal life and professional life together under one roof?
Yeah, I was thinking about this earlier, that prior to the Industrial Revolution, everybody worked at home. Kids went to school, people worked at home, everything happened there. And this is really one of those unique opportunities that we haven't really seen it, that worldwide people are working at home with their children. And there's a lot to learn from our children. There's a lot that they're learning from us. And I think it really gives them an opportunity to see work as something that matters. It's not the thing we do so that we can have fun, but as image bearers made in the image of God, we get to come be part of people who work in this world to bring about God's kingdom to now, and work is one of those. So whatever job you do, parents, like we work at a church, but if you're working from home, it's really great for your kids to get to see what it is that you do. And so I think it's one of those really great opportunities.
Absolutely.
Yeah, prior to COVID, my husband's job was really obscure to our family. We really didn't know what he did when he went off to work every day. And so this has given us an opportunity to see what he does when he goes to the office. And so it's not just him hanging out at the water cooler and chit-chatting with friends. We actually get to see the work that he's bringing home. And it's been really good and encouraging and enlightening for our family.
Yeah, good. How's it been for you, Kelsey?
Yeah, I would say it's been difficult. I mean, I have a little guy who's at Monte Vista Children's Center during the day for me to work, and then I have a 7-year-old who's home with me, and this has been a really hard adjustment for us because from her perspective, I am always on a device. I'm always on my computer or I'm on my phone, and for her, that could create a narrative that mom is always busy. And so I have some fear around it. I have discomfort. I often will kind of identify some shame around it too. So it's definitely been an adjustment for our family that we still have not necessarily figured out.
And this will be my final thing to say. Give yourself some grace, or receive grace, or whatever it takes, because often we tend to be parents who fear doing something that our children will feel bad about later and come tell the story. But they are learning a lot from watching you work, and they'll have their own perceptions, but realizing it really is a unique opportunity. They're getting to see what your work is, and hopefully really grow to understand you more fully.
That's great. Thank you.
Thanks, guys.